Here on the magazine, we're going to let our viewers in both Acushnet and Fairhaven just let them know what is going on and what is lined up for tourism here this summer, in this upcoming warm summer months. I have with us now Chris Richard. Now, Chris, you have recently become the director, maybe in the past week, of tourism here in Fairhaven. Prior to that, you were on a part-time basis, and you did some volunteer work for a long time. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit more now? How did this all came about?
Sure. I've been director of tourism in Fairhaven since last April, but it was a part-time position. Okay. This week it became full-time, 35 hours a week. Before then, I did volunteer work, walking tours with tourism committee, and since the Office of Tourism was set up by the Board of Selectmen, I've been hired as the director.
This is, to me, this is a very exciting, very impressive tourism office. It has a lot to offer. I want you to walk us through some of the things that, while I was at the counter over here, I noticed, aside from a directory for those who come in here and seek information, you also have a newsletter and just an abundance of information here.
That's right. The newsletter is something that I publish 4 times a year, and that goes out to about 250 businesses and nonprofit groups here in town, so that they know what I'm doing as far as advertising the town of Fairhaven, what kind of promotions we're working on, so that we can coordinate. I really want to see cooperation between business people, nonprofit groups, town departments, all working to promote this. And in the Visitors Center, we have brochures from attractions and businesses in Fairhaven and also surrounding areas. One of the things I'm promoting is that Fairhaven is very convenient to many other places. If you stay in Fairhaven, you can take a day trip to Fall River, a day trip to Martha's Vineyard, a day trip to Plymouth. You can use this as your home base. And so visitors coming in here will get a variety of brochures from all over the area. I'm most specifically interested in making sure that Fairhaven businesses and attractions bring their brochures in.
Now, 2 things I want to touch upon that you mentioned within your statement here. Your distribution of the newsletter. Now, do you have a certain format you use? Like, would it go to businesses that people who are coming from out of town would be most apt to stop and get directions to? You have a certain format of businesses that you send it to? The
businesses, I had to put this mailing list together completely on my own. We didn't really have any sort of a base list to work with. So what I did was I put together lists of all of the businesses I thought that would be related to tourism as far as people stopping by doing business with these places. Those would be restaurants, stores, the grocery stores, gas stations, convenience stores, gift shops, all the other little shops, art galleries, any sort of a place that visitors would stop at. So those are the people that get the mailing list. And also the nonprofit groups like the Historical Society, the Improvement Association. Many of those groups do projects, sponsor events, which are of great interest to tourists.
You know what's also interesting to me, Chris, is the fact that people, when they stay in the area, now somewhere along the line, tourism in Massachusetts and in the vicinity of 33% of the people stay with families. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. When I put out visitors guidebooks to Fairhaven such as this, we're going to have it at the New Bedford Visitors Center, we're going to have it at the hotels and the bed and breakfasts in town, but almost a third of all the people who come to the state visit and stay in private homes with families and friends. So I want people in Fairhaven-Acushnet to know that if you have people planning to visit you this summer, if you have people staying with you now, send them to the Visitor Center. We have lots of information. We've got brochures. We have discount coupons to factory outlets. All of this stuff is available. People who live in town can use the Visitor Center just as well as people from out of town.
You do such a great job at this tourism, and you've done it for a long, long time. I'm sure some of our viewers must wonder, it's not an all-year-round project, but it is an all-year-round project because in the off-season, this is what this guide is all about. Now, you put this together in the off-season?
Sure. During the spring through fall months, May through the beginning of October. That's the time when the visitor center here is going to be busy with people coming into town. Although even this week, first week of March, I've had people from Washington State, from Maryland, from Rhode Island coming in here, walking around right now. But for the most part, the groups coming into Fairhaven do that in the spring, summer, and fall. During the winter, what I'm doing in the office is preparing materials to have ready for the summer season.
Sure.
I'm creating advertising that we're going to be running in publications, visitors' guidebooks. Those things are done in the winter to prepare for what's coming in the summer.
In your newsletter also, Chris, I noticed this, maybe you could explain this to our viewers, this little coupon, Welcome to Fairhaven, your company name.
The Office of Tourism is going to put together a coupon package this summer to give to people from out of town, welcoming them to town, and we hope we're going to have some discounts from Fairhaven businesses.
Right, yeah.
Restaurants, entertainment passes, discount rentals, free gifts at area stores, any kind of thing that a business can offer. We are printing up the coupons. The Office of Tourism will pay for the printing. The Office of Tourism is going to design the coupon. All the business has to do is make an offer available to out-of-towners. Call me at the office, let me know, and we'll make a coupon and distribute it to people so that they will see what we have in town, what merchants, what restaurants, what stores to go to. We'd really like to get as much participation as possible. And these are the sorts of things that we're doing now in the winter so that by May we'll have this stuff ready.
Now, either an individual or a group coming into town, if I were to come into the tourism office and my companion and I would like to perhaps have some seafood or Italian food, are you capable of giving us a printout of restaurants in town that offer certain cuisines?
Yes. The Tourism Committee, which is a volunteer committee that meets once a month, the Tourism Committee recently completed a survey of every restaurant in town. This week I entered 56 restaurants into the computer with all the information about their hours, their seating capacities, price ranges, the specialties, and I'll be able to print out these lists so that if people come in, ask what are the Italian restaurants, what are the seafood restaurants, what restaurants are open on Mondays, I'll be able to provide that sort of information. We also got from the restaurants information about their capacity to accept groups.
Oh, excellent, yeah.
When a bus comes to town, a bus holds maybe 48 people or so. If they're looking for a place, if they want to walk around the center, go to Fort Phoenix, then have lunch at a restaurant, they need to know where they can go that will seat 48 people, how many days notice they need to make arrangements. Many of the restaurants in town will give a complimentary meal to the tour escort and the bus driver. We've accumulated all this information so we can make it available to tour companies coming to town.
That's excellent. And any history involved in Fairhaven? Suppose someone came from out of town and they want to take it a little bit further, like Fort Phoenix, the history behind Fort Phoenix. You're also, I mean, not only people out of town, suppose somebody moved here 2 years ago, relocated for job purposes, to learn a little bit more history about their town. You're also capable of doing that here at the tourism office.
Yes, we have brochures here. The guidebook has histories of the Henry Huddleston Rogers buildings, Fort Phoenix, Poverty Point. We have, many people have been coming in recently and calling me recently because of the AT&T transfers. We have new people moving to town. They want to find out about the town because they're going to become permanent residents. We have a lot of that information, and we give walking tours in the spring, summer, and fall. They're free tours so that people can walk around the center of town with us, walk around the Fort Phoenix area with us, walk around Poverty Point, and learn about the history of the town. History is one of the major things we have to promote in Fairhaven. The other things we have to promote are the seashore, State Beach at Fort Phoenix, the marinas, we've got swimming, there's boating. So the history, the seashore, and then some of the natural beauty like the East Fairhaven areas.
That's great.
That's what we're here to promote.
I think that's fantastic. A lot said. Visit the Fairhaven Tourism Office here on 27 Center Street in Fairhaven. The Tourism Director, Chris Richard, would be more than happy to help you and walk you through the town of Fairhaven and also information involving the town of Acushnet. And Chris invites you to take one of his Fairhaven Loves Family stickers. Publicity, I like this. This is good.
The Fairhaven Improvement Association made a donation to us to print these Fairhaven Loves Families stickers up, so they're free. We have another slogan besides Fairhaven Loves Families. This was the first slogan that we developed here at the Office of Tourism. Our slogan that we're now beginning to use in advertising is a small town with a big history.
Great, I love it. Good. Chris Richard, thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
There's a lot going on in the field of tourism here in the town of Fairhaven. Visit their tourism office. If you are unsure where you want to go or what you want to learn about Fairhaven, this is the place. 27 Center Street here in Fairhaven.